Ganondorf is bad. Really bad. So bad, in fact, that in Ultimate's most recent official, not really official tier list, he is the only character with a tier of his own, standing alone at the E- tier. For some perspective, if you take the most recent tier list for each respective Smash game, Ultimate Ganondorf is the only character that's just so bad that he has a tier dedicated to him. Even Melee Bowser and Ganondorf's Brawl counterpart are grouped with at least one other character. Ultimate Ganondorf is just so significantly worse than any other character that a new tier was created just for him. I want to talk about a match I played a few weeks ago on Smash Bros against the Ganondorf. I was playing like dog shit. I was making some of the dumbest, easily avoidable mistakes you could ever make against the Ganondorf. On top of all of that, my edge guarding was garbage, my punish game was garbage. Pretty sure I got my shield broken twice in one game. I was playing like a complete bot to say the least. And despite all of that, despite how garbage I was playing, I still won the set. Even though it was a close set, it really just affirmed for me how sad of a character Ganondorf is. Had I played against a different character piloted by someone of equal skill level, I would have definitely gotten destroyed. So thank you Fire X-Boy97 for playing such a bad character. It's crazy to think that Ganondorf in every Smash game is essentially just a worse version of Captain Falcon, with them sharing a lot of similar moves since Melee. Ganon obviously having the slower and more powerful ones. It's so ingrained into Smash that before Ultimate's release, people were popping off when it was finally revealed that he uses a sword after only 3 whole Smash games without it. Allowing Ganondorf to go an additional step further into becoming completely his own character in Smash. Despite him receiving brand new Smash attacks though, sort of, a lot of the issues that have plagued him since his entry into the franchise remained. When you just take a good look at his stats, bottom 4 ground speed, bottom 3 air speed, combined with one of the worst jump heights in the entire game, there's just not much to say other than lol. There's no additional good movement options being present in Ganondorf's moveset either. Ganondorf definitely has the worst movement in the entire game. There's a few characters that come a bit close to that level of sluggishness. I think one of them being beloved Fat Penguin King Dedede. And it's fair to say, he's not much better off. It's weird that Ganondorf being a mid-tier was not a completely moronic opinion that wasn't instantly written off at one point in the game's lifespan, because of how much people thought he improved from Smash 4. But outside of his new Smash attacks and a much stronger up B, all of the improved aspects were universal, and most other characters were just able to take advantage of using tilts out of a dash and less laggy aerials more. Mostly because once again, Ganondorf is slow. If Ganondorf was improved like this, other characters were improved like this. With Ganondorf also being ranked as the worst character in Brawl, you can summarize Ganondorf's journey from Brawl to Ultimate like this really. Throughout Ultimate there have been a plethora of balance changing patches, and when talking about buffs, generally they tend to be more directed towards lower tiered characters, meaning that yes, Ganondorf actually received buffs. In fact, he got buffed multiple times. However, in my opinion, Ganondorf was nerfed throughout Ultimate if anything, because in patch 1.1.0 they made it so Ganondorf's aerial side B kills Ganon before his opponent. Why did they do this? I don't know. Maybe they were afraid that he would be just too good. Of course, this is only one nerf, that doesn't really count as it was a day 1 patch in comparison to multiple buffs. But most of those improvements are so bare bones that one change of his side B might be more of a significant nerf than any of his positive changes. This makes comparing him with Captain Falcon even funnier, because it's pretty clear now that Ganon's been a terrible character since day 1 of the game, even if that really wasn't the conscious back then. And that Captain Falcon received like 5 times the amount of buffs Ganon has, despite him being clearly better, but you can obviously do this with a lot of characters. Ken buffs? Ganon buffs. Mewtwo buffs? Ganon buffs. Diddy Kong buffs? Ganon buffs. Rosa buffs? Matchups. Every character has them, nobody has a clue what the best way of naming characters is. Do you say winning and losing? Do you put a number? Do you write a full sentence to convey the amount of nuance a matchup can have? What a lot of them at least have in common is that a lot of them say that their character does good against Ganondorf. One of the best Ganondorfs in the world, Major, has a matchup chart from around 15 months ago that has 71 matchups in the losing section. Which, you know, could be worse. That means that there are 10 characters not in the losing section. One of them is even in winning. Question mark. That's great because for a lot of those characters you can also argue that Ganondorf loses to them. If you wanna reach, not really reach, you can even say that Ganondorf loses to every single character in the game potentially. Actually, yeah, let's just say that Ganondorf loses to every single character in the fucking game because he's such a piece of shit. So there's a lot of bad things about Ganondorf. His movement sucks, hasn't received any major buffs, and has definitely the worst matchup spread in the entire game. But what's good about him? Is there anything redeemable about him for anyone to even consider choosing him in a competitive environment? Well, his moves are pretty good. His smash attacks, forward tilt, down tilt, and aerials are all pretty solid, it's just that they all get neutered due to his abysmal stats. And he has a pretty good ledge hang, second best in the game in fact, the best one being Sonic, because he needs that. Of course, this factor about Ganondorf is also often irrelevant due to how much trouble he has making it to the ledge in the first place. And his final smash has a cool spike. Okay, there's nothing else. Fun fact about Ganondorf, did you know that all of his moves combined have more end lag than Pac-Man's dash attack? Fact. With Ganondorf being a bottom 3 character in Smash 4 and the worst character in Brawl, it means that this character's highest rating is 14th in Melee, meaning Ganondorf has never seen the upper half of a tier list, ever. Unless you want to look at older lists where he has placed as high as 8th if you can believe it, which in that case it's also worth mentioning that he also had his own tier in Brawl at one point. Truly embarrassing. Will this character ever be good? I don't know. Like and subscribe to find out. Thank you, goodbye.